take a look at the Texas Railroad Commission primary for the GOP, and the World Cup is almost here. Today is Thursday, May 21st, 2026. This is South Texas Midday. I'm Spencer Chiak. Early voting in the Texas primaries continue across South Texas, with local candidates in both parties looking to secure a spot on the November 2026 ballot. The results will finalize who Republicans and Democrats have on the ballot this November for several key races. This primary season includes several high-profile statewide offices. Topping the list, the Republican runoff for U.S. Senate between incumbent Senator John Cornyn and Ken Paxton, Texas's current Attorney General. But there's also another important Republican runoff that's getting far less attention: the battle for a seat on the Texas Railroad Commission. The state's oil and gas regulators. Incumbent Commissioner Jim Wright is running for a second term against Beau French, former chair of the Tarrant County GOP. And according to political experts, this runoff's outcome could tell us a lot about which way the Texas Republican Party is heading. The Texas Newsroom's Blaze Gainey reports.
Bring up the Texas Railroad Commission in casual conversation, you'll likely get one of two answers. The first,
wait, like trains?
Or,
oh yeah, that's the three-person panel with the misleading name that's actually responsible for regulating Texas's oil and gas industry.
And if you have really nerdy friends, maybe a bit of...
The three railroad commissioners have staggered 6-year terms, so Texas elects one seat every 2 years.
But mention this year's Republican runoff for Railroad Commission to Brandon Rottinghouse, and he'd say,
this race has the opportunity to redefine the future of the Republican Party.
Rottinghouse is a political scientist with the University of Houston. To him, the victor in this runoff, either incumbent Jim Wright or his challenger, Beau French, won't just be challenging Democrat John Rosenthal in November. They'll also be a bellwether.
A win by Wright would reinforce the influence of more traditional conservatives and institutional Republicans, while a win from French would signal that the MAGA and populist faction would fully dominate the Republican Party politics into the future.
To explain why, let's back up a bit. Jim Wright touts himself as a fifth-generation Texas rancher and lifelong South Texan. Governor Greg Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick back him, and when he first ran for Railroad Commission in 2020, he was endorsed by President Trump. So Wright's got backing from Texas Republican establishment and worked in the energy industry. I should note, both Wright and French didn't respond to the Texas Newsroom's interview request for this story. But in April, Wright spoke with Texas Scorecard, a conservative news outlet. He highlighted the Railroad Commission's importance because of how vital the state's oil and gas industry is.
That is a huge part of our economic success. We're the fourth largest producer in the world. We're the eighth largest economy in the world.
On the other hand, Beau French doesn't have that same energy background, but what he does have is attention. During his controversial tenure as chair of the Tarrant County GOP, he earned a reputation as a far-right activist, especially through his controversial social media posts targeting Muslims, LGBTQ issues, and DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Here's a sample from March when French spoke at the Conservative Political Action Conference in Texas.
We have to ban Islam. It's not a religion. It's a governmental structure intent on overthrowing our Constitution.
After one social media post last year where French asked his followers if Jews or Muslims were a bigger threat to America, Republican leaders like Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick called for his resignation as county GOP chair. Brandon Rottinghouse points at that while what French talks about most often doesn't have anything to do with the position he's running for, that may not matter in this runoff.
Beau French speaks to a very core group of Republican insurgent activists who want to see the party move in a more conservative direction. He has traction with that group, and this is the group that votes.
That group comes with money, including hundreds of thousands from Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks. They're both billionaires who made their fortunes in the oil business and have been pouring money into conservative Texas politics. And while French wouldn't be in a position to do things like ban Islam with a seat on the Texas Railroad Commission, bringing things like that up has forced Wright to address them too, something the incumbent told Texas Scorecard he wasn't well positioned to do.
I've got to be real honest with you. Up until about 3 or 4 months ago, I didn't even know what DEI stood for.
According to Rottinghouse, that's a plus for Beau French.
Successful candidates shift what the campaign is about, and Beau French has shifted the ground to the social issues as the most important instead of the regulatory issues that is the purview of the Railroad Commission. So that's to some degree already a win.
Especially when you consider how low turnout usually is for elections like this in general.
The voters in a primary runoff are likely to be the most committed, most conservative voters, and that is exactly where both French can have some success.
All that boils down to Republican voters right now. Those who do show up to cast a ballot will have a lot of sway, and not just when it comes to who will be on the ballot in November. Rottinghouse says the results could have ripple effects for years to come. Early voting is underway now, and Election Day is Tuesday, May 26. I'm Blaze Gainey in Austin.
You can find out where to vote on your city's website or the Texas Secretary of State page. The City of Victoria will host a town hall about a proposed $5 a month stormwater drainage fee in 1 week at the Gary Moses Community Center Annex. The Victoria City Council will vote on the fee later this summer. The number of Texans using SNAP fell by about 14% since last year. KERA's Avery Escamilla-Wendell reports advocates say new federal policies are adding to the decline.
State data from April shows there were roughly 500,000 fewer eligible Texans participating in SNAP than there was last year. An analysis by the nonprofit Feeding Texas shows that decline sped up after Congress passed a federal tax and spending bill last July that added new eligibility restrictions. Jamie Olson with Feeding Texas says immigration fears are also contributing to the drop.
Many mixed status families may be choosing not to reapply because of fears of accessing public benefits.
Nationwide SNAP participation fell about 3.5 million people between July and February. I'm Avery Escamilla-Wendell in Dallas.
The city of Houston is slated to open a new homeless services center in East Downtown in the coming weeks. It has more than 220 beds, but officials say it's not just a place for people to sleep overnight. Houston Public Media's Dominic Anthony Walsh has more.
Just a few blocks from 419 Emancipation Avenue, the site of the upcoming service hub, heavy machinery tears down a building that formerly held a homeless services organization. It's being removed to make way for the I-45 highway expansion. Dozens of people sleep on the streets in this part of East Downtown, including Jerry Wayne Griffin. He says he hasn't had housing for about a year and a half. What's it been like to be on the streets for a year and a half?
Hell, I've seen some of my best friends pass away. I've seen people get robbed. I've seen people get raped. These streets ain't for nobody.
He's looking forward to the opening of the new surface hub.
I'm gonna be the first one at the door.
You're gonna be there, why?
Yes, because they will help you with shelter, they help you get your life together, and that's what I want.
He won't have to wait long. The city purchased 419 Emancipation for $16 million last year. The building has been used as a shelter for women and children in the past. More recently, it was used as a facility for unaccompanied migrant children. As they come in, people will pass a security station and then enter what officials call a triage area.
They will come through here. Their care will begin almost immediately because you'll have professionals engaging them right here.
Houston Public Safety Director Larry Satterwhite leads the way through a large cafeteria area and into an industrial kitchen.
This will be a busy kitchen,
serving 3 meals to more than 220 people a day. On the first and second floors around the cafeteria, 74 rooms are ready for occupants.
Let's look at one of the rooms.
Each one has 3 beds, a set of lockers, and a bathroom. There's space for extra beds, so the capacity could expand from 222 to 320.
Not what they have right now on the streets. Quite honestly, not what they have in a lot of other facilities. They're getting a lot more privacy here and a lot more access to things that they normally would not, which is, we hope, an enticement for them to stay with the program until they're ready to graduate out of here into something better.
Among the enticements, recreation. Outside, there's a volleyball field and basketball court. There are already about 2,000 emergency shelter beds in Harris County, according to Rice University's Kinder Institute. That's not enough for the entire population on the streets. But the new 222-bed facility is not solely intended to fill that shelter gap, according to Wayne Young.
Frankly, when I talk to the city, I said, if you want somebody to run a shelter, that's probably not us, right? We are people who do treatment.
Young runs the Harris Center, the local authority for mental health and intellectual disability services. They're partnering with the city to run the service hub for the next 3 years, expected to cost up to $39 million to operate. In many shelters, people come for the night and have to leave during the day.
And our goal is that they don't leave. Our goal is that they stay here, they engage in therapeutic programming, we connect them with the housing professionals, we connect them with workforce development, and that they are here receiving services all day long.
The program staff includes psychiatrists, nurses, recovery coaches, recreational therapists, as well as housing and employment specialists. The city's housing director, Mike Nichols, says this facility will be a front door to what is already a robust homeless response network.
Houston really has led the nation in how to deal with homelessness through housing individuals.
Before becoming head of Houston's housing department, Nichols served as CEO of the Coalition for the Homeless of Houston and Harris County. The organization spearheaded the region's success in reducing the county's estimated unhoused population from more than 8,000 in 2011 to about 3,000 in recent years, primarily by moving people from the streets into permanent housing. But, he says, there are gaps in the region's housing-first framework.
The weakness was that people had to wait on the street while they wait for housing.
And many people need services to address mental health or substance abuse challenges before they can move into permanent housing.
And what 419 does is it begins to fill that hole.
The center is a linchpin in Mayor John Whitmire's initiative to end street homelessness in Houston. Nichols initially hoped to accomplish that goal, defined as moving everybody into housing within 90 days of them becoming homeless, by the end of this year. But the initiative has not fully met its $70 million annual funding goal. The administration now says the goal to end homelessness may come in 2027.
It was aspirational. It's to get us moving, to get us going forward. Funding is always a difficult thing, and funding will be changing all the time. The fact that we got here is quite remarkable with the funding.
Nichols hopes the facility will move 750 people from the streets into housing per year. The other part of the initiative to address homelessness is a ramp-up in ticketing for violations of the city's sidewalk rules, including in the East Downtown and Greater East End areas. The police department issued about 3,000 citations for people blocking sidewalks last year, marking a 17% increase from the year before, according to records obtained by Houston Public Media. According to Satterwhite, the city's public safety director, this area will have an increased police presence because neighboring community members are concerned about the facility attracting more homeless people. Some even launched an opposition campaign when it was announced late last year.
To the degree that when somebody is in violation, we're going to have to say, I'm sorry, you can't do this. We want to make sure everybody feels safe. So you'll see a stepped up presence in this area to ensure that that remains so.
Even with that threat, not everybody is likely to go to the service hub willingly. Back in the area where dozens of people live on the street, another man, whose name Houston Public Media is withholding, said he would refuse to go to the shelter.
I don't need to be sleeping in a facility when I own literally everything. I'm literally Prince of Heaven.
In a recent survey, over half of people living on area streets reported having a mental health disorder, and more than 70% of that group said their condition impaired their ability to live independently. The upcoming facility, expected to open before mid-June, is designed to serve them, if they'll accept the help. I'm Dominic Anthony Walsh in Houston.
In sports, Dallas law enforcement agencies and business leaders are making sure the city is ready ahead of the FIFA World Cup. KERA's Priscilla Rice reports on new downtown safety measures.
A year after the Safe in the City initiative was launched, the nonprofit Downtown Dallas Inc. and the Dallas Police Department are expanding safety efforts. That includes opening a new police command center at Radiance Plaza in downtown Dallas. The safety plan also includes more officers, a neighborhood police unit, and a continued collaboration with DART Police. DART Police Chief Charles Cato says he's making sure his department is ready for the World Cup.
And so we want to make sure that we're good partners and we collaborate with the other law enforcement, not just Dallas, but all the 12 member cities' police departments.
Cato says violent crime on DART is down 17% from last year. For KERA News, I'm Priscilla Rice in Dallas.
Finally, the NBA Western Conference Finals is all tied up at one game apiece after a 122-113 Thunder win against the San Antonio Spurs in Oklahoma City at the Paycom Center last night. The series continues on Friday at the Frost Bank Center in San Antonio. Tip-off is at 7:30. This has been South Texas Midday. I'm Spencer Chiak. Your community arts calendar and more is on its way next.